Factually inaccurate.
Morally correct. This is Babylon Bee Radio. Our top story. The official state religion of the United States has entered its high holy days, with worshipers around the nation being called to rededicate themselves in submission and obedience to its holy teachings.
I'm urging all Americans to publicly bend the knee before our sacred rainbow symbol,
said President Biden in an address to the nation.
Let us all take this time to feast and pray before our God of prideful human flesh and before sacred messengers, the genitals. We are a nation of pride. Blessings be upon his name. Just celebrate it, folks. Not a joke. Okay, can I have my snack now?
Holy prophets in public schools, corporate DEI departments, and Target supermarkets have been dispatched across the land to bear witness to the glories of pride and destroy the lives of those who refuse to publicly worship the vengeful deity.
Blasphemy will not be tolerated,
said Divine Elder Mixi Vavum, they, them.
We are the eyes and ears of pride, and we are watching you.
The High Holy Days of Pride will conclude this weekend with 1,000 abortions and 1,000 gender surgeries performed publicly on the steps of the White House. With corporations now having reservations about hiring Dylan Mulvaney as a spokesperson in the wake of backlash against Bud Light and Nike, the TikTok personality and trans activist has now begun blackmailing companies by threatening to publicly endorse their products.
If you don't meet my demands, I'll endorse your product online,
Mulvaney said, staring threateningly into the camera in a chilling, grainy video sent to one company.
I'll post a full video across all social media platforms and tell everyone to buy your product. The whole works. My demands are simple: $10 million and a Louis Vuitton handbag. Love it! You have 24 hours.
The company, which requested to remain anonymous, immediately called an emergency board meeting to discuss its options for dealing with the threat.
We've all seen what happened to Bud Light. If we refuse to cave to these demands, Mulvaney will completely ruin us. We're really being held over a barrel here.
Multiple large corporations reported receiving the same video threat from Mulvaney, with several executives saying the situation was reminiscent of something a comic book villain would do.
Man, I could have sworn this Mulvaney guy was just copying old Joker schemes. Too bad we can't just call Batman and have this thing dealt with.
The PR team at Bud Light, meanwhile, has been frantically calling media outlets to retroactively claim their endorsement by Mulvaney was, in reality, the result of a terrifying blackmail threat.
Love it!
In an address to the nation, El Presidente Biden showed off his cool new uniform covered with flashy medals and assured the nation that the U.S. is not a banana republic.
Listen, folks, this is ridiculous. Just because I'm using the corrupt power of my administration to prosecute a political opponent doesn't mean we're a banana republic. We are a nation of laws and freedom. If you weren't free, would I be wearing my beautiful gold Presidential Medal of Freedom right now? I think not.
Media outlets praised Biden's bold and impressive new look.
It's as if the shiny gold of dear leaders' well-deserved medals are signaling a new dawn for our country and all humanity,
said CNN anchor Wolf Blitzer.
For the first time, I feel safe, wrapped in the loving arms of our Lord Ruler. Blessings be upon him.
Sources say Biden's political opponent, Donald Trump, is finally being held responsible for the egregious crime of having classified documents while not being a member of the ruling party. Those sources confirmed he's scheduled to disappear mysteriously this week. The Biden regime reiterated that the U.S. is not a banana republic and that anyone who says otherwise will be indicted and then shot.
This administration does not engage in oppressive tactics,
said black lesbian White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who is also a lesbian who is black.
Any claims to the contrary can only come from enemies of the state and will be met with swift and vengeful force to permanently silence them.
Plus, I don't even like bananas. Grease up our farts.
Details regarding Trump's indictment have come to light. Attorney General Merrick Garland says Trump's facing 7 counts of not storing highly classified documents in his garage behind a Corvette.
Mr. Trump had these documents securely stored in a closet instead of strewn about the garage. Straight to jail. Trump's failure to haphazardly toss top-secret documents behind the car is nothing short of treasonous.
For his part, Mr. Trump has denied all wrongdoing.
I had all my classified documents behind the best, most beautiful cars at Mar-A-Lago. Corvettes are for the poors. Do I look like a poor? I would never put top-secret documents behind anything cheaper than a McLaren. What a rube!
A bombshell report indicates the classified documents included the McDonald's secret recipe for the McRib sandwich.
This is something we can't afford to have out in the open,
said a source at the DOJ who requested anonymity.
Once the higher-ups at McDonald's heard about Trump possessing their McRib recipe, they pushed really hard for us to take serious action.
Trump refused to either confirm or deny possession of the recipe, saying on Truth Social,
"This is yet another hoax. Even if I did have the McRib recipe, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, I had the authority as president to know how the delicious and wonderful McRib was made. It's shameful for McDonald's to be playing a role in this political witch hunt." Sad.
When reached for official comment, the Biden administration also refused to answer questions.
President Biden has more important things to deal with than McRib sandwiches,
said gay black White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who is a gay black female.
But if the allegations are true, Mr. Trump is a clear national security threat.
Trump said if elected, he will sign an executive order to make the McRib available all year long.
How about it?
In related news, Trump has chosen Joe Biden's son Hunter as his 2024 running mate, leading the Department of Justice to halt all investigations.
It really is a brilliant 4D chess type of move,
said disheveled political analyst Steve Bannon.
There's no way the DOJ or the FBI will do any investigating when Hunter Biden is attached to the campaign. Checkmate, losers. Oh.
Within minutes of naming Biden as his new running mate, Trump was notified by the government that the indictments against him were being thrown out, leading Trump to make a celebratory post on his Truth Social account.
Trump wins once again. I remain undefeated against the corrupt deep state's efforts to take me out. Hunter Biden is my new running mate, making me invincible to any investigation. He's even more trustworthy than my previous running mate. So much winning.
Unable to continue their quest against Trump, DOJ officials admitted defeat.
It's over. We're not allowed to go anywhere near Hunter Biden, so Trump and his campaign can now run roughshod. Much like the women Hunter hires at night, our hands are tied.
New vice presidential candidate Hunter Biden, who had last been seen passed out in an alley after a 3-day crack cocaine bender, was unavailable for comment. In a surprise move, the Democratic National Committee has decided to support presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with a nice rally by a grassy knoll in Dallas.
It'll be a picturesque setting surrounded by nature and clear open skies with perfect visibility for aiming down scope, providing the ideal backdrop for this historic occasion. We can't wait to launch his campaign with a bang. We really think he's got a shot.
The DNC offered to spare no expense, stating they would have it no other way than to see Kennedy Jr. riding freely through Dallas with the windows down in his choice of a convertible car.
We love us some Kennedys. People think we'd stop at nothing to crush any real competition to Joe Biden, but that's just downright silly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get in position on the grassy knoll.
RFK Jr. reportedly declined the DNC's offer, stating, quote, "I'm not an idiot."
What do I look like?
At airtime, Kennedy Jr. was greeted by a new house cleaner named Hilda Clintogoria. In a tragic development, invitations to the Unabomber's funeral were sent out via mail, but no one has yet been willing to open one.
Seems like a bad idea,
said former neighbor Danielle Jones as she laid the invitation aside.
One more bomb in the mail would just be so like Ted.
Despite sending out over 100 invitations, the Unabomber's family has yet to receive a single RSVP.
I know he was a criminal, but I would have at least expected to hear from a few people saying they weren't coming,
said nephew Samuel Kaczynski.
I mean, I have to know how many sandwiches to buy. It's been total radio silence, though. It's the weirdest thing.
Old co-workers of the Unabomber, whose real name was Ted Kaczynski, were reportedly caught off guard after receiving posthumous certified mail from him.
He's not here right now,
said former co-worker John Mason as the mailman asked him to sign for the letter.
Yeah, I'm sure Ted got past that phase, but I wouldn't literally bet my life on it. I'm sure the post office can just return it to sender or whatever they do with bombs. Undelivered mail.
The Kaczynski family, meanwhile, sought to reassure people that the invitations being sent in the mail were homemade. Disaster quickly unfolded after the Canadian government accidentally switched the published numbers for the Suicide Prevention Hotline and the Suicide Assistance Hotline.
So you're thinking about killing yourself, eh? That's great. We can definitely help. How does Thursday sound?
According to sources, thousands of calls from depressed Canadians flooded the assisted suicide hotline before authorities realized the mistake.
Oh boy, I thought people saying this is a cry for help just meant they needed help getting a lethal injection. And when I asked if they had a plan to harm themselves and they said no, I probably shouldn't have offered to make a plan for them. Oh dear.
Despite the embarrassing mistake, several Canadians reported that speaking with the suicide assistance hotline actually helped them snap out of their depression.
I was in such a dark place when I called the hotline, but something about them wanting to just kill me helped change my perspective. I told the person I felt like a meaningless piece of dust. They said, "Great, we'll schedule you for cremation." That really helped me see how insane it was to see the world that way. I'm back on my feet now.
The Canadian government apologized for the mistake with a statement, reading, quote, "Sorry, eh?" Canadian PM Justin Trudeau is once again finding himself at the center of controversy after he made an appearance in what appeared to be blackface again. Trudeau maintains, however, that the black pigment on his face is just ash from all the wildfire smoke.
Stop laughing, guys. This is just ashes and stuff. I definitely didn't spread a large amount of it on my face in solidarity with BIPOC men in Wimexton. I would never do something like that because I'm not a racist. I'm an anti-racist. Word to your mother.
Critics contested that even though thousands of Canadian citizens are affected by the wildfires tearing through the countryside, only Trudeau's face seems to be constantly covered in large amounts of black soot.
He's even wearing a large afro wig for some reason. I'm not sure what that has to do with the fires. Tim Hortons.
My critics are being ridiculous. My beautiful dark complexion is simply an unfortunate coincidence. Namaste.
At airtime, Trudeau had donned a turban
For additional protection from the flames.
B Radio features officially curated content from the Babylon Bee, scripted, voiced, and produced by Austin Robertson. Additional voices in this episode from Brandon, Emma, Jared, Kirsty, Kristen, Robin, and Travis. Like, subscribe, rate, and review B Radio on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts.